Let's be honest. Phillip Rivers is too damned old to play football. You heard it here first if you hadn't already thought it. And don't look at me. I know you're thinking, but what about Tom Brady? Tom played all the way up until he's Tom Brady. Why are we going to start having a conversation and comparing Tom Brady with Phillip Rivers? That's like comparing me because I fixed my sink to Roto-Rooter. It's not the same. You can't have a conversation about Phillip Rivers and Tom Brady in the same sentence. Come on, are you crazy? So now let's go back to the beginning. Phillip Rivers, if you don't know who I'm talking about, was the quarterback for San Diego forever, and then he went over to the Colts during the pandemic, I think like 2020. And I think he was probably, 39 or so then, 38. He had a long career out there when he was playing. He got hit a lot. So he was broke in a lot of ways. I mean, human-wise, because you can only do that for so long. So then when he got out to Indianapolis, apparently he's a wonderful human to be around. I totally get that. And they loved him. So when Daniel Jones went down, and let's stop. If you're NFL, if you've been watching Daniel Jones' life cycle here, Daniel Jones, do you think anyone at the beginning of last season went, or 2 seasons ago went, you know what, we're fine unless Daniel Jones gets hurt? If Danny Dimes goes down, call the season. Who said that? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody here? Nobody nowhere. All of a sudden, now you get to watch the Indianapolis Colts with Danny Dimes dropping them. It has been so much fun to see this kid find his way, right? I don't mean kid, you know what I'm saying. This dude is finding his way. It is a blast to see. I love it when he's supposed to achieve, they don't achieve, and then a quick switch around and they do achieve. Whatever he wasn't getting into the Giants program, he's able to get in this program, and it is working out. I've enjoyed the whole season watching him do his thing. And then he had that unfortunate injury the other day, and it's an Achilles injury. So it looks like, just basing on the time of year, it's probably going to be an interesting start for him next year as well. Rehab on that's going to take a minute. But he's not as old as, let's say, Aaron Rodgers when it happened to him. But still, that Achilles back there, I don't know much about it, but it seems important. Seems like it probably ain't going to heal right the older you get. Again, lucky he's young, but we'll see how that plays out. I'm hopeful. Now the question is who's going to fill in for him because they don't have anybody. They're 2 inches from calling me. I mean, it's bad. Times are bad. In fact, they're so bad that they call Phillip Rivers. Wonderful person. 44 years old. Why not, Phillip? This is going to be fun. Much like the rest of his career, he reminds me of a toddler running around the table, working their way around. They're weebling and wobbling. You know they're going to fall down. You're just waiting for it, and then they do. That's what this is going to be. Same thing. It's going to be fun to watch for a game or 2, maybe 3. And then, as usual, we're going to be in a bad way. And they're not going to win those 3 games. They may win 1. They'll be lucky. I would imagine. Maybe. He comes back wonderful. I don't know. All I'm saying is I'm not sure when he comes back this time that we're actually playing football. Phillip Rivers is so old, we might just be doing a reenactment. Phillip Rivers is so old, he's going to need a warm-up, a cool-down, and a chiropractor before halftime. In Phillip Rivers' playbook, he's got a section labeled, "What do I do if my hip pops?" At his age, the 2-minute drill is him tying a shoe. That's funny, I don't care who you are. Phillip Rivers is so old, the refs don't blow the whistle. They blow his life alert. Phillip Rivers is so old, he's going to run a bootleg and pull something that's not a muscle, just a memory. Phillip Rivers is so old, he's going to be the only quarterback ever hurt during the national anthem. Phillip Rivers has 9 kids at home. That's not a family. That's a depth chart. He didn't come back for the money. He came back for the silence. 9 kids? Are you kidding me? Phillip Rivers is so old when he audibles, it's just him yelling, "Huh?" Phillip Rivers is so old, when you hit him, you don't get a penalty. You get arrested for elder abuse. At 44, if Phillip Rivers gets sacked, the league's going to have to pause the game to check his AARP benefits. You should not get your Social Security check and your paycheck from the football field on Friday. That ain't right. Every time Philip Rivers drops back, you know Angels are going to be standing just in case. You don't know. You never know with him. I'm excited about the whole thing. I'm anxious to see how it plays out. Again, a couple of games we'll be moving on down the road. But maybe, just maybe, they do some miracle something or another and win. Who knows? It's going to be a fun ride to watch. I like when Philip comes back. He's going to have the two black strips under. He said, they asked him if he wanted to come back, and his response was something to the effect of, let me come over there and toss it around just a little. We'll see. That sounds like Philip Rivers. The guy was a great character and a whole lot of fun to watch. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what happens. I just find it interesting that we didn't grab somebody like, oh, I don't know, Russell Wilson. He's sitting out there. Don't tell me something's there's. I don't think it's broken Russell. I think Russell's fine. I think something's off with something else. Maybe it's the Earth's shift. Maybe it's not 23.5 degrees anymore. Maybe because of the change, now Russell Wilson's off. I don't know. I think all we got to do is go out there and maybe get a chiropractor and give him a quick. Next thing you know, he might be back to what he should be. I miss when Russell was just mooning the moon balls. Remember those? They'd go halfway up. In Dallas, they'd darn near hit the sign up there. I'm kidding, they weren't that high. But you know what I'm saying? It was so much fun to watch Russell Wilson do his thing on the football field. And we haven't been able to replicate that. And I don't think it's him. I think there's problems with the programs that he's playing in. The offenses aren't working with him. I just want to see the man play again. I enjoy watching him. But again, he is more battle-tested and ready in more recent times than Philip Rivers. And there's probably some other folks. I understand them not wanting to invest in a rookie. Maybe the connection is the guy that was working as the offensive and the quarterback coordinator or the offensive coordinator. I'm not sure exactly which. But him and Philip go way back. They've played together before. So it'll be easy for him to build a quick group of plays that'll work with his style and his strengths and keep him maybe from running around as much in these days when he doesn't have this. Well, I don't know. I say that, but he's going to come back on fresh legs. I mean, he ain't run out for nothing but a couple donuts in a while. He said he ate a little more than he probably should have. He's been working out, he's throwing around a little bit. They say he's still got skills with the rock. I don't know, but it's going to be an exciting thing to see. I mean, I'm not going to bring up the fact that the last time Philip Rivers had a sponsor, it was Pontiac. I'm not going to say anything like that because I don't want to perpetuate any more than I've already done the old stereotype. In fact, I don't feel like I did right by Philip Rivers, and I'd like to apologize. Philip, I do apologize. You know what? They may get him on the Manning cast too. Now, wouldn't that be good? Are you watching the Manning cast? If you like football and you're not watching the Manning cast or you don't know about it, let me invite you to it. This is not a hashtag ad because I don't care. But ESPN2 will feature Eli and Peyton and then guests throughout the evening on some Monday Night Football games. Not all of them. They skip a few of the less desirable games. Maybe it's just the scheduling. I don't know. It's really interesting to watch because I don't know what level of football fan you are or what level your football knowledge goes to. I like to think that on a scale of 1 to 10, my knowledge level is probably somewhere around an 8. I feel like I know a right good bit about football. I've been watching it a long time. I started watching it in the 70s, so I've been around it a minute. Now, when I watch Eli and Peyton talk on the Manning cast, what I realize is my actual skill level on that same 1 to 10 scale is somewhere around 0.2. So I know nothing about football. Apparently, I didn't know anything until they came along. And I swear to you, on the first night that I ever watched them do their thing, as they were talking about this is why he's doing that, and this is why he's hitting him on the right hip, and Omaha means this, and so any word that they're using, and he explains basically everything that's going on. Peyton and Eli together just doing their thing. It was so eye-opening. I honestly feel like right now when I'm watching football, I'm like, oh, I know what's going on. And then now my girl started watching, so she'll ask questions, and I'll brilliantly drop an answer that's pretty impressive because I heard it on the Manning cast. And then she came over and I had the Manning cast on and she's like, oh, I could just watch them and learn what the real stuff about football is. I felt defeated. It was emasculating. My manhood took a shot. I mean, it was bad. So let me tell you, if you're watching the Manning cast and you're trying to flabbergast your woman with all of your knowledge, don't let her know you're watching the Manning cast. Because they'll teach you everything. They'll also get into if you have a brother or want to know what it's like to have a big brother. I never had a big brother. I had a little brother, so my little brother knew what it was like. But it's really cool to watch that relationship. Eli is Scrappy Doo, and Peyton is Scooby Doo. And when Peyton don't want to play with Eli anymore on whatever topic they're talking about, he'll just end it. And it's hilarious because he gets that privilege, I guess, because he's the older brother. It's pretty funny to watch, though. It's a real cool dynamic. And then when they get into working with guests, they bring big time guests on the show. And that's not always sports stars either. They'll bring other people on, movie stars. They have a list that they write up, and it's their white whale list, I think is what they call it. And they have a bunch of big time people they put on there, and they're going to want to show up because everybody wants to be on this show because it's fun to sit there and have a conversation with Eli and Peyton. And usually it's less about football. They had former President George Herbert Walker Bush. Would that be George? No, George W. Bush. George W. Bush on with them a couple of weeks ago. Just talking football, and I mean, he was making fun of Peyton and Eli. He started with, well, that's the first time I hadn't seen y'all on a commercial. I want to thank you. It was hilarious. This dude started dropping one-liners. The press was dropping one-liners on Eli and Peyton. You know, Archie was sitting at home going, mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, this is fun. And Cooper was sitting at home going, come on, Arch, you got to be next. That might not be exactly right, but it's probably close. So we're getting to enjoy Arch Manning, too, on that same subject. I saw today where he made, I don't know that this is right. I saw it on the internet. You can't trust the internet. That's like looking at me for actual information. You can't trust me. You kidding me? I make this crap up. I believe I saw where Arch made $6.5 million last year as a college football player. That's a lot of cheese. I mean, it's not the money Cam Newton made when he was playing college. Whatever. So it's a lot of money. But I thought, man, that's a lot of money for, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, for a season that may not have been as good as people wanted. I felt like y'all are putting too much weight on this poor kid's shoulders, and I thought, man, y'all just need to let this man have a year or two. Let him grow into this role. But nope, we expect him to hit the ground running like a crazy man, like Peyton did, right? Anybody? That's not right. Peyton did not hit the. Peyton came out of Tennessee without a national championship. As I recall, the very next year they'll get a national championship, but Peyton's not going to win it for them. He's going to go play for the Indianapolis Colts. He's the big draft pick for them. It's a big deal. Everyone's happy. It's not that far a drive for Archie and the rest of the Mannings, so it's a real good fit, right? Everything's hunky-dory. With the exception of the first, season's play, he couldn't stop throwing to the wrong team. He reminds me of some of the others that are around today that they must not understand what color the jerseys are. Poor Peyton I felt like Peyton was way ahead of the game, even then. And it felt like the coaches had to catch up to where Peyton was. And then people would be in the right place. That's the way it looked. I don't know that that's exactly the way it went. I wasn't standing there on the field, but it was funny. I mean, it was sad to watch that. I mean, I think he still has a rookie record for most interceptions or something. That's a lot. So he had a rough first year. I think they went 2-10. Don't listen to me on that. The numbers, I'm terrible with numbers, and I'm terrible with remembering scores and things like that. But the numbers in that first year or two were not great. Then they're going to make a quick turnaround, and he's going to become the legend we remember and the legend we enjoy watching so much for all of these years. But that first year or two wasn't great. And Eli Manning had a few good years. My favorite parts of Eli Manning, and he got it from his coach. His coach always had this look on his face when they looked over. He'd be always like, like he didn't know what was going on. And then they would move the camera over to Eli, and all you'd see between the face mask lines is they matched. They were like a pair of bookends. It was hilarious to watch. I miss that to this day. I'm also mad still that they beat the Patriots. Who in the... They were undefeated. Come on, man. I made money that whole year. It was the first time I ever had a bookie. Are you kidding me? It was so much fun. The money was coming in. I bet big money. I think one time I bet like $20 on the game. The Super Bowl, I had $25 on that game. That's retirement money for me. I just play for fun. I'm up like $7,000 betting. Don't hate on me. It's legal. It's fun gaming for me, and I don't have a problem. My problem is not gambling. My problem's losing. Those are different things. That's another problem. Y'all try to group every problem under the same umbrella, and it ain't. Fact is, I can cover my losses. I just don't like having them. I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, back to my gambling addiction. It's not really an addiction. I made a lot of money on the Patriots that year, and it absolutely drove me. I was so excited about ending that 72 Dolphins thing. I was tired of hearing about it. Do you know how long I've been hearing about that? Are you kidding me? Some of the Larry Zonka's social security number is probably like 7. He's been around forever. I was tired of hearing about it when I was 5. I get it. You had a perfect season. But, bro, you peaked in 3rd grade. Let's move on. I'm tired. Somebody do something else. You didn't have the Super Bowl shuffle. You didn't wind up putting Michael Strahan on Good Morning America. You didn't produce none of that. No. All you did was have a perfect season. Anybody can do that. Nah, I'm just kidding. Ain't nobody done it since. That's hard, right? That's impossible. Or is it? Could the New England Patriots have won that? Sure they could have. How does Eli Manning and the other guy who never looks like he knows what's going on, I just forgot his name. I want to say Tom Coughlin, but that's not right. But that dude, how they both look, what? How? No way. Cost me $25 and a whole lot of pride. I didn't buy no jerseys. No, sir. Ain't going to have no Tom Brady on the back of my jersey because my jersey money went down the drain because y'all didn't win the game. How does Bill Belichick lose that game? How does Bill Belichick have that hot chick? Don't act like Jordan ain't hot. I mean, hate yourself if you want to, but she's a smoke show. Now, the real question is, how does Bill Belichick land a hot chick like that? Well, there's a couple of options, and we can start thinking, is it that one? Probably not. Or everyone would have been talking about it. It's definitely the money. Gotta be the money, right? All money. And I can't even hate. And I like that he's riding that on out, too. Are you kidding me? Listen, he looks good every room he walks in. He don't know which direction to walk. She keeps him going in the right direction. That's a win for him. It works out double. Money. If I had money, Lord have mercy, things would be a lot dang different. So good for Bill Belichick, right? Still cost me $25. And Bill, if you won't, have Jordan send me back my $25. Then we'd be square. Me and you'd be tight. Because I believed you were a better coach than that. And you let me down. Way on down. I fell through the floor. Lost my $25 and my 401k and everything. And I lost ground. I lost the square. I lost all that. Thank you. It's all you, Bill Belichick. Tom Brady. All you cats. I'm going to tell you something else, Tom Brady. Because of that incident right there, because of the Super Bowl incident, now I can't even think about the Raiders. I ain't putting no money on the Raiders. Now that you got a piece of that, it's like you deliberately set out to screw me out of my hard earns. No, I'm sorry, Tom. You don't get another chance to break my back. I'm a poor working man. I ain't built like you. I didn't show up here making $260 million, be able to date Bridget Moynihan. Come on, man. She's one of the most beautiful women in the world. On top of that, she was on Blue Bloods. So she knows. Yeah, she knows Tom Selleck. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, man. This is just absolute wrongness on every level. I ain't going to take it. Like I was saying, Phillip Rivers too damn old for football. Glad we put that to bed. Now, I was thinking the other day, was laughing about this, actually. I was thinking about my guidance counselor. Do you remember that conversation you had to have, that obligatory conversation you had with your guidance counselor back in high school? How'd that go for you? It goes something like, you can be so during my time, it was real simple. We had a few things we could be. I've talked about this. You could be a doctor, lawyer, in your chief of something, fire chief or whatever. You could also wind up maybe being a mechanic. They'd go for that. You could be a plumber or welder. They were cool on that. Or a photographer. If you were one of those people that just didn't fit in the he'll look good with a welding rod in his hand group, must be a photographer. Like there's a tick off. I mean, I got recommended to be, wait for it, a photographer. But he saw that coming. I'll tell you something else. My guidance counselor looked me dead in the face. This was right in the middle of the craze. Looked me dead in the face and said, have you thought about having an emu farm? I looked him back in the face and I said, what about me makes you think I can keep something alive? He said, emu is the new beef. He said, emu is going to cure the world's hunger problems. If you have an emu farm, you are going to be rich. Son, do you understand what I'm saying? I said, yeah, I understand that. We live in an apartment. Where I'm going to put a flock of emu. They're the size of a Volkswagen on 38s. What am I going to do with that? You can't do that in an apartment complex. That's not an option. Next, I'm a photographer. That's how we got there. That's how it went. That conversation, all to hell. And speaking of emus, that whole they're the future thing, that did not go well. That was awful from the word go. It went badly. It blew up about 1994. They had people investing in farms, and I mean, they were putting money into stuff. Emu was the next promise from Jesus himself. And as it turned out, that didn't pan out. It was not that way. I mean, I'm not even sure the emu wound up any more successful than the Beanie Baby if you get right down to it. I mean, you could collect Beanie Babies, take a lot of land. Turns out emus poop a lot too. I learned that real quick. They are massive poopers. They poop from on high. They don't poop from on low. See, that's the thing about a chicken or a bird. I mean, a bird will mess you up, but you get what I'm saying. It's a low run, or them little Pomeranians. It's a low run, but not the same when you start talking about, that fossil bird thing, the emu. That's wrong. See, that's pooping from 2 stories, and then the wind gets involved. I don't want to be involved in any of that. See, emu was not for me, and the emu farm was also not for me. Emu meat. Oh man, you got emu meat. Walmart, everybody was here. Emu meat, we got it. I don't even trust Walmart's chicken to this day. I sure as hell ain't gonna let them sell me emu meat. Who thought this was gonna be a grand idea? Oh, it's the new thing. No, it ain't. And it never got off the ground. Now here we are. We're being besieged by yet another emu. Lemu, the emu. And that D-bag Doug from the Mutual. Is that Liberty Mutual? Yeah. No, is that right? Liberty Mutual? It's one of them. Yeah, I think it is. Somebody find out if it's Liberty Mutual? I can't never remember. Either way, Lemu, the emu, and Doug. Now, I don't know where y'all are at on Lemu. I do not have a problem with Lemu at this point. My problem is with Doug. Doug's uptight. He's really wound up. He's wound up like he needs to be on an HOA board somewhere. I mean, this guy irons his socks. He's making me nervous, and that's why the emu's so hard to figure out, because he understands, he senses the nervousness going on in this one that's got a screw too tight. We need to loosen Doug back just a notch or two so he can breathe. I think his waistband's way too tight. He's not getting any oxygen to the upper level, if you know what I mean. We also need to look at How did he wind up in this business? I see him as a 2-pack a day smoking accountant somewhere. Probably not even in a good accountant firm. Probably doing taxes in the mall. Smokes way too much to be in an accountant firm. That's the picture I get. Plus, he shows up in aviators like he's gonna be flying. Bro, you ain't flying no plane. What are we doing? In his pockets got stuff. That's the pack of Marlboros. They take that out right before the filming. I'm telling you, Doug is the problem over here. We need to loosen him up. We need... Now, listen, I want you to get... Don't tell everybody I'm saying this, but I'm on to something here. Think about, we have Doug, who clearly needs help. He's got to loosen up. You know who else needs to loosen up? Flo from Progressive. She's also uptight. You kidding me? This one's wound up. So what if we end up with a little bit of cross promotion here? Both of them could use a date. Think about the benefits if we could loosen Flo up a little bit and dial back Doug just a few degrees here in the new insurance universe. You know, Marvel's got a universe. Well, sure as hell ought to have one for insurance. So in the insurance universe, I mean, we could have, if we did this right, we spend a little time with Flo, getting to know our boy Doug a little bit. While we could wind up having a wedding before this thing's over. Who doesn't need this cross promotion? Of course I want this cross promotion. I want to see, when these two get together, I want to have Jake from State Farm cover the ceremony. He's the one talking to the Lord and making it official. And let's see, who else can we bring in here from the insurance universe? We could have the folks in the back doing a discount double check, pull up the old stuff. We're not here to play. I mean, we can bring that one feller in. He could say, we've insured some things because we've seen some things. Or whatever he says. I don't know. That dude definitely needs to be in our insurance universe. I mean, a lot could go on here. And think about the plus sides. We could dial back Flo just a little bit. We could change things, get Doug. He won't be so quite uptight. He'll be a little more fun to play and a little more joy to watch. And now these commercials, you know, all jokes aside, those cats in the insurance business, there's basically only two businesses with a little handful of everything else, keeping radio and television alive. If you watch or listen to any, there's two things: cell phones and insurance. They're between insurance companies, Progressive, Geico, Liberty Mutual, Farmers, dun, 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 and Geico, State Farm. There's a lady here, Anna Nicole or somebody's got one out. You see it in California. Then there's the general dude. There's like 78 versions of insurance, and they can't spend enough money to get no. Imagine if you. So who owns this game? Probably Geico's probably up there with that little gecko. We have Liberty Mutual, and we probably have Progressive. Maybe put those three at the top, and you know, there's five on the mountain. But by the time you get down to that second or third level, they can't spend enough money in advertising to make a dent next to all the other money that's being spent in advertising. Same with cell phones. Cell phones are in the same boat. They're keeping radio and television alive. All they're doing is blowing money on what? Are we switching cell phone companies every day? Are you right now looking at your phone going, I sure do hope somebody give me a deal today I can save $20 this month? Sure, we are hoping it, but it ain't going to happen because we're not that stupid, right? We know they pretty much got us locked. That cell phone thing is like gas. Bottom line with this is, if they want to go up on the price, what are we going to do? What? No thanks, I don't need this phone. I'll get along just fine without it. Right? No, that's not happening. So they can charge whatever they want. Are we or are we not going to put Flo and Doug together in the insurance cinematic universe? The ICU Anybody, if you know somebody in advertising, make that work for me. I want to see that come together because I think that is a match made in marketing heaven. Thanks for spending time with me today. I'm on Spotify. Check it out. I'm also on Apple Podcast, and you can catch me on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks again for your time. Bud like the beer, Ford like the truck. I'm at BudFord.com.